Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is ECW. The show of the week once again rolls its beautiful head around into this part of the week. Anyway, we're here in Albany, New York for tonight's episode of ECW, and there are a few talking points regarding it. One being perhaps the most interesting talking point being about last week's match between none other than AJ Styles and Neville, in which right at the end of it, AJ Styles, who was technically on the verge of beating Neville, was interrupted by, of all people, Zack Sabre Jr., who ended up making the save for Neville and granting him the victory. Well, AJ Styles was not pleased about that at all, and later on tonight we will be hearing from that man himself, which should be interesting in its own right, and I look forward to hearing what he's got to say. I mean, it was a very weird and interesting scenario last week. We got Zack Sabre Jr. in action as well, coming up next actually, but as for now we will focus on AJ Styles later on tonight and what he has to say. Where does he go from here, and where does the ECW roster go from here as well? Styles on quite a few lists was a #1 contender to the ECW Championship, and now after that loss to Neville, there's doubts over even if there is a #1 contender to the title. There could well be though after the main event tonight, where Baron Corbin has to face his punishments for a disappointing performance in the King of the Ring. Yes, after being knocked out in the first round by eventual winner Kenny Omega, Baron Corbin has to pay for his sins, and what better way to pay for them than to go one-on-one against the bodyguard, not of Seth Rollins, but of ECW as a whole, Minoru Suzuki. Corbin, you dug this hole for yourself. Now Minoru Suzuki will choke you out within it, dump you on the coffin with a Gotch pile driver and bury you 6 feet underground. Baron Corbin, you brought this upon yourself. Minoru Suzuki, though, is only happy to deliver the final blows. So that being said, we're gonna get underway with this one. We're gonna start things off with Zack Sabre Jr. in action. And the opponent for Zack Sabre Jr. will be a guy we actually haven't seen in a little while. Good few months since we've seen him as well, but with the rebirth of the Cruiserweight division, it is about time he gets back in the ring. It is Trevor Lee going to be taking on Zack Sabre Jr. one-on-one here to kick off ECW, but the focus, of course, for this one is not on Trevor Lee at all. It is all on Zack Sabre Jr. It is all about why did he do what he did last week? Why did he help out Neville, of all people? These two men have never seen eye to eye on anything. These two guys have never been able, these guys have never been friends. They've never been side by side. In the Cruiserweight division, they were always miles apart from one another. And yet, all of a sudden, for no reason whatsoever, there was no idea of there being anything between the guys. No alliance between the guys. Zack Sabre Jr. comes out, distracts AJ Styles, and lets Neville get the win, and then they're celebrating together after the match. And like I said, there has been no explanation since. There has been no reasoning as to why this was the case. This has just happened, and it's just one of those things I guess we have to accept. And look at even the minute differences of Zack Sabre Jr. and the Neville. Usually coming out with a British flag, with a red, white, and blue British flag jacket. That has changed now. It is all black for Zack Sabre Jr. Very much like Neville himself when he makes his way towards the ring. He's still got his British flag on him, but Sabre Jr. is heading towards the ring, and I can see out of the corner of my eye that Neville is with him as well. There he is. These two men, that was not a one-night only thing. This has turned into some kind of partnership between these two men. Sabre Jr. and Neville are, for some reason, a force to be reckoned with. I guess. These two men are on each other's side now. These two men, from 1 week, from 2 weeks to now, have gone from nothing in common, no common values, pretty much enemies, to side by side with one another now. I have no idea what to make of this, but this has certainly happened. And we're underway in this one now between these two men, but the real question to ask is, why is Neville there? Why is Sabre Jr. and Neville all buddy-buddy just out of the blue? I don't know. And until we get an answer, we can only keep on speculating. That is what makes this such an interesting situation. I am you know, I gotta be honest, I am very interested by it, but I have no idea what to make of it. I have no idea why these guys are all of a sudden by each other's side. I guess time will tell in that regard, but we do have a match to focus on, and we do have other points to focus on as well, such as if Neville will be an intervening factor, or if he's just here to just support Zack Sabre Jr., or I really don't know what to make of it at all. Cover here on Zack Sabre Jr. there by Trevor, and he kicks out there. With the weight restrictions to the Cruiserweight division, cutting down from 225 to 205. Trevor Lee had to go on a bit of a weight cutting course to lose some of his weight to cut down to that 205 margin to keep in the Cruiserweight division. And that is why he's been out for a little bit. You can see he's considerably slimmer than before, but even bigger. But then again, he is still bigger than Zack Sabre Jr. Then again, Sabre Jr. chooses to stay in such a lean phase so that he can get the best out of his body. He can be that agile technical freak that we know him to be, and pull it off with no issues whatsoever. Sabre Jr. now looking for the Northern Lights suplex. Beautiful bridge there. Cover on Trevor Lee after it, looking to put him away, and Lee kicks out. And here go the attacks on the arm now by Sabre Jr. Looking to soften it up, looking to get that tap out victory. Front face lock here, and oh, look at this, down on the arm now. Hooks it over. An elevated Fujiwara armbar here, just tearing at the arm now of Trevor Lee. Some innovative submissions always coming out when Zack Sabre Jr. is involved, but Trevor Lee able to get himself out of it there and hook himself over. Creates a little bit of separation between the two, but not enough to get himself back in this matchup, though he's quickly countered by Trevor Lee there with a hard DDT. Cover though, but Sabre Jr.'s feet definitely underneath the ropes there. Neville has been a non-factor thus far, just watching on at his new associate. Oh, here comes the guillotine by Sabre Jr. now. He locked that one in deep on Trevor Lee. There's nowhere for Lee to go. He may be resorted to tap out here to this submission instead. Referee in close, got a good eye on it to see if Lee will fade out, to see if he'll tap out. He's clinging in there, but Trevor Lee had no choice. There was no escape for him. Zack Sabre Jr. just made him submit in relatively quick fashion. Zack Sabre Jr. is your winner in this one. And like I said, in quick fashion, no less. Oh no, oh no, no, no. These two men have something else in mind. It was not finishing up there. Trevor Lee is going to be the scapegoat to prove their point. Zack Sabre Jr. now hoists him up. This isn't what we wanted to see at all. Sabre Jr. powerbombs him into the apron and then brings him round down into the LED screen. Oh, this is, you can tell this has got Neville's fingerprints all over it. This is what Neville wanted from Sabre Jr. He wanted this side out of Sabre Jr. to come out, and here it is for us all to witness. Zack Sabre Jr. has resorted to this because of Neville. It is more than a change of gear, it is a change of attitude. Sabre Jr. tearing on the arm of Trevor Lee now with a cross armbar. Lee tapped out repeatedly. Sabre Jr. let go. May have torn his arm as well, and now as those two men celebrate in the ring, Sabre Jr. is going to stand outside and let Neville do the talking. And Neville is quick to grab the mic and start talking here. And start talking about this duo in front of us. They are the British Empire. They are here to demolish NXT in their own sight. They are not going to be overlooked any longer. They are not pushovers any longer. This is the real deal. Sabre Jr. and Neville will stop at nothing until they get what they want, and what Neville wants is a WrestleMania match against Seth Rollins. He beat AJ Styles last week. There's no other #1 contender in shot. Give him the opportunity, and he will not let you down, or else. Alright, Neville. Let's get a few things straight here. Okay, British Empire, cool name, I'll give you that. You'll stop at nothing to get your hands on Seth Rollins. We have Minoru Suzuki. I think he can deal with you both. But if you want to try, be my guest. Getting my attention is 9/10 of the way there to the ECW title, and you've certainly started in a strong fashion. Well, the British Empire has just made its way into NXT. That duo is certainly alive and certainly ready to make its claim and to stake it as well within ECW. Neville has already put his 2 cents on the table. He wants that ECW title shot at WrestleMania. He wants to take on Seth Rollins on the grandest stage of them all. I like where he's going with this. I said, getting my attention is 9/10 of the way to the ECW Championship, but it's that 10% that is as important as that 90%. You've got to earn it as well. One lucky win over AJ Styles does not earn you the title shot. Does your incredible Cruiserweight title reign get you there? Yeah. You still have to have some wins, though, to earn the shot itself? Yeah. So with that being said, get a few more wins under your belt, and we'll see where we go from there. How does that sound? I know WrestleMania is only a month away, or a little over a month away at this point. But you've still got your point to prove, Neville, unless something else is decided, unless someone else speaks out and decides something for you. But we'll get to that when we get there. As for right now, we have a tag team matchup on the way involving 4 cruiserweights. It is actually a night of the cruiserweights because we have another cruiserweight matchup coming up later on tonight as well. But here comes Gregory Helms towards the ring. Himself and Nese have been tag teaming up, of course, over these last few months. They've been kind of just there, though, to be fair. They haven't really picked up any big wins. They haven't done anything special, but they like it teaming with each other. They're both very selfish-minded, and somehow that attracts to make a team, even though they're both very selfish. I'm not sure how that one works. You see Tony Nese, of course, the man with the 8-pack. Gregory Helms, the man who just appreciates himself and no one else. Well, they might be looking for that big win, but they ain't going to get it tonight because it has finally happened here on ECW. We are finally ready for something incredible to happen, something that we've been waiting, to be fair, for a very, very long time to happen as well. It has been a really long time coming. It has been a really, almost kind of in a way, a tough time for the ECW Tag Team division. But now it can recuperate back with one of its favorite teams, one of the crowd's favorite teams, and one of my personal favorite teams as well. I have to admit that this team is always a joy to see in ring. It's always a joy to see when they team together, but it has been a long, long time since we last saw this team in action, thanks to one man and one man alone. But that is over now. He has waited for his partner to return, and he is finally back. The team is back, the duo is back together, the band is back together for the first time in about 4 or 5 months. Johnny Gargano is back, and in turn, DIY is back. It has finally happened. We have waited since he was put on the shelf by Braun Strowman for this to come true, and come true it has. DIY returns to ECW. Ciampa tried to get opportunities on his own. He devoted every match he had to Johnny Gargano. Well, he no longer needs to do that, because DIY back on the table, back and ready to go here in an ECW. This is a sight to see. This is one that I'm certainly happy to see. These two men back together. And a lot has changed since they've been gone as well. Most notably, the ECW Tag Team Championship changing hands to the Authors of Pain, who could be a very tough task for DIY whenever they meet them. But they're getting things underway here. Gargano hungry to get back in the ring, and he's going to do it right away against Tony Nese here. God, it has been so long since we last saw Gargano. It is a sight for sore eyes in many ways. But he is back. Johnny Wrestling has returned, and he looks like he hasn't missed a beat in the same way as well. Just see how DIY is able to perform together on this stage here. Are they able to work with one another after so long apart? Ciampa's been having quite a few singles matches. He was in the Royal Rumble as well. But now the time is here for DIY to get himself back on the tag team stage, and try and overcome the odds as they had tried many times in the past. And they have one hell of an odds to overcome if they ever get that shot to the belts. They have the Authors of Pain to overcome, which ain't going to be easy at all. Great move there by Johnny Gargano, who is all over Tony Nese right now. Not DIY just yet, but certainly Gargano has come back stronger than what he left. Put on the shelf for a long time, courtesy of Braun Strowman, after beating him down repeatedly in a tag team matchup between the Wyatt family and DIY. Well, that is now past. That is now a long way away, and it is about DIY being back together. Double super kick there. Nese will make the tag into Gregory Helms, but Sabre is in the ring as well. The Psycho Killer is here, and these two men just swinging for the fences at one another. Gargano now. Again, these two men just cannot hit one another. Couldn't find the mark there, but quickly stopped in his tracks. There was... oh my God, was Gregory Helms for being dumped face first there with a torture rack face buster. Here goes Tommaso Ciampa now. Oh my God. Suplex GTS there. And this one is certainly going to be great to see. Ciampa looks as if when he's back in the ring now, he is back to his old phase. I was talking about during his time off how Ciampa was always missing that edge. Well, now with Gargano back, he seems to have found that edge, and he's doing just fine with it. He is getting the job done in the ring here right now. He is all over Gregory Helms. Look for the Irish whip into the turnbuckle there to perhaps make the tag, but that didn't happen. Oh, big boot there by Gregory Helms. Certainly looking for at least some fight back are Helms and Nese. Oh, and Gargano not afraid there to give his tag team partner a little bit of a chance to get himself back in this one. DIY not afraid to utilize the rules to the best of their advantage. Tag made. Gargano's back in. Drop toe hold. Double foot stomp in the back. And oh, a running knee in the side of the head there. Beautiful bit of work by DIY. Super kick as well by Gargano to really get it on the point. They haven't missed a beat, have they? They are still just as smooth flowing and as solid as they were from the day they got their chance here in ECW. Nothing has changed for these two men. Oh, but Gargano goes up and over. We don't know, of course, the extent of Gargano's injury either. How severe it was to him, and how, if that time off that he took affected his in-ring ability. Ciampa on the outside, getting a little bit up close and personal with Gregory Helms. Referee can't stop that. Gargano sends him face first into the announce table now, and Helms is in a world of trouble. Nese coming to his support. Back in the ring you go. Gargano is ready to perhaps apply the finishing touches to this one. Here comes... I don't even know what to make of that move. Full Nelson. I really don't even know what to call it. It was almost like the director's cut, but better. Oh, but this is what we come to know from DIY. Here it is. The super kick. The knee in the back of the head. DIY have finished their job here. Business is done. Cover on Helms. This has to do it. 1, 2, and 3. DIY return with an emphatic win over Gregory Helms and Tony Nese. Welcome back, DIY. Man, are we happy to see them as well. They looked better than ever, I would say. That was a DIY that we had not seen before. Such fluidity, such smooth sailing work. And the win was easy for them. There are your winners. DIY finally back together. Are they on their way to an eventual shot at Tag Team Gold once again? Can they pull it off? We'll find out. There is still a long way to go for DIY to get themselves to the top of the mountain. And while the Authors of Pain sit there, it's going to be even more difficult to take it away from them. With that being said, DIY would love the shot to try and do that. We're going to have to move on, though, to our next contest. Last week, we saw Aleister Black and Tetsuya Naito get up close and personal with one another. It seems as if Naito and Black have been locked in their own little phase of combat. And if you're locked in a phase with Aleister Black, you're locked in with the Wyatt family, and Naito is going to learn that tonight as he goes one-on-one with the leader of the Wyatt family itself, Bray Wyatt. Well, this one should certainly cast a few interests, get a few eyes focusing on it. Certainly got a few eyes from the Fireflies as Bray Wyatt heads towards the ring now to do battle with Tetsuya Naito. Wyatt has no problem when one man starts Wyatt family business getting involved and getting his hands dirty from the get-go. Bray Wyatt heads towards the ring here. The Fireflies certainly out in Albany, and he'll get ready to meet Tetsuya Naito. This is going to be an interesting one, I think, for Wyatt. He has got quite a bit of weight on his shoulders, maybe, and a bit of pressure to try and keep Naito away from ECW television champion Aleister Black, or if Black wants him, of course. In that case, he's got nothing to keep away from him. He's just got to try and soften him up a little bit for Tetsuya Naito for their eventual meeting date. Bray Wyatt certainly looks on the money here as the lamp guides him towards the ring. Sister Abigail guiding him through this match as well, but how will he do when he takes on Naito one-on-one? We'll find out in due diligence. Bray Wyatt, though, looking as almost relaxed as ever. Two different elements of relaxed here. Bray Wyatt, not really supernatural, but certainly a cult kind of mannerisms to him, and in a relaxed sense, almost in a sense, almost a creepy way as well, in the way in which Bray Wyatt acts. Tetsuya Naito, of course, relies upon being tranquilo and letting the opponent lead the way, letting him lead the way through the match and let his opponent fall to him. And there you see a bit of interest even on the outside. Aleister Black is paying close attention. Never really see that from the Wyatt family. And I certainly never see it from Aleister Black. Anyway, he's side by side with his Wyatt family member. That is certainly an interesting ordeal. Wonder if Aleister Black will be taking notes, or if he'll look to get himself involved in this matchup. Whether or not that'll be the case, we'll find out. But here comes the opponent of Bray Wyatt, and potentially and probably the future opponent of Aleister Black. It is Tetsuya Naito who makes his way out of here. Attacked last week by Aleister Black. That has made no difference to Tetsuya Naito, who has only fueled his fire that bit more to go after Aleister Black and the Wyatt family. He has no problems whatsoever. You tell Tetsuya Naito he's in the ring with Braun Strowman, he'll shrug it off. Naito is a guy who truly just really doesn't care. And that's what makes Naito such an interesting case. We're in a situation where most people right now would be very worrisome, would be looking at this matchup and thinking, I'm going to take on Bray Wyatt, Aleister Black's at ringside, how do I overcome this? Naito doesn't care. That's what makes Naito Naito. He doesn't care if Aleister Black's at ringside. You could put Braun Strowman at ringside. Naito wouldn't care. You could tell Naito he has to fight all three guys in a 3-on-1 match. Naito just doesn't care. So long as he's putting the boots to someone and hitting Destino, Naito's as happy as can be. That is why Tranquilo exists for Tetsuya Naito. It is not it's not just a phrase. It is Naito's way of acting within this ring. It is how he likes to go about business within this ring as well. Even a guy like Bray Wyatt, who can be difficult to break down, he just likes to have his way with him. Look, right in the early goings here, having a relax in the corner and trying to get Wyatt to lash out early on. A rake of the eyes there. Off the ropes comes Naito and into the running just body tackle essentially of Bray Wyatt. Counter there though by Naito, and here he goes now. Kicks to the legs and the gut of Bray Wyatt there. And he'll return the favour with a rake of the eyes of his own to Bray Wyatt. Tetsuya Naito is just in his element. He's always in his element, and he won't let someone like Bray Wyatt drag him away from it either. Naito looking pretty solid here. In the going thus far, but hard blow to the back there, but Naito quick to shrug it off. Aleister Black still paying close attention at ringside. And look at how Naito is okay with wrestling this matchup inches away from his potential future opponent for that ECW Television Championship. He's fine being just a foot or two away from him. He's fine getting even closer than that. There is no worry within Naito about any of this. God, Naito is all over Bray Wyatt now, and take a look at this. He's going over to the corner of Aleister Black, and he's taunting now. He's so calm, so cool, so collected is Tetsuya Naito. But that could also be his downfall. If he allows someone like Bray Wyatt to read his game, Wyatt can also get a bit of mental math going for himself and take control. And that is what he's looking to do here. Snapmare takedown. Chinlock applied here on Naito. If you're going to try and get rid of Tranquilo, you got to try and get rid of Naito's ability to have control over the matchup. And that is what Wyatt is attempting to do here. Chinlock applied, but not for too long as Naito slips his way out of it with a jawbreaker. An Irish whip up and over the ropes there. Naito wanted to take him out to Aleister Black. Wanted this one to get a little bit personal, but gets countered by Bray Wyatt there and caught with an STO. This match getting a little bit more back and forth between these two men. Bray Wyatt now, the Uranagi slam to Naito. I don't think this was in the game plan of Naito. And he could be in trouble. He could well pay for it if he was going to. Sister Abigail was just reversed. Naito was looking for something there, but it's stuffed by Bray Wyatt, who brings him down with a hard punch in the face. And look at that, it might even be a part of Bray Wyatt, of Naito's game. He rolls out of the ring directly to Aleister Black. He is standing on Aleister Black's foot, Aleister Black's hand right now. That's how little Naito cares, and he makes Wyatt pay for not capitalizing. Destino. That one should finish it. 1, 2, 3. Naito beats Wyatt. Aleister Black forced to watch as his leader falls to the potential #1 contender to the TV title. Naito there with a big victory over Bray Wyatt, and one that he needed as well to prove his case, but it may well be short-lived. Aleister Black looking to attack Naito, but Naito swinging back at the champion, giving him strikes and sending him on his way. Tetsuya Naito having the number there of the ECW Television Champion as well. A bit of retribution for last week from Tetsuya Naito on top of that. Well, I'm not too sure what to make of that attack, but attempted attack rather by Aleister Black on Tetsuya Naito. But one thing's for certain, tonight here on ECW, Naito has the number of both Bray Wyatt and Aleister Black, and may well be dialing the digits to allow him a shot at the ECW Television Championship. Aleister Black here tonight, certainly not in the mood to play around with Naito, but Naito is always in the mood to play mental mind games, even with someone like the Wyatt family. He may be testing his luck, but Naito is showing that the Wyatt family's tricks do not work on him. Naito and Black could be sooner rather than we anticipate. That one will certainly be an enticing thought, but we have to move on here, because I said at the start of the night we were going to hear from this man and hear from him right now. We are going to. Coming up next, a phenomenal one. AJ Styles has points to talk about regarding last week and maybe even the future of what he plans for himself on ECW following that loss. And AJ Styles is not going to be in a good mood after last week, and I look forward to seeing what he has to say about Zack Sabre Jr., Neville, and maybe even WrestleMania. Let's get into it. Here comes the phenomenal one now, towards the ring. He is not really looking like his usual upbeat and I'm trying to find the word to describe it. Not usually his upbeat and confident self. AJ Styles looks a little bit dejected as he heads towards the ring here. Slow to get in, not really got a lot of confidence within him. Oh, maybe, never mind. Okay, great stuff, game. He's just found his confidence out of thin air, apparently. AJ Styles is ready to get talking about last week and about everything regarding it. And that is certainly what he's done. He is disappointed in Zack Sabre Jr. He expected better from a fine athlete like Sabre Jr. to fall to the clutches of someone like Neville. AJ Styles is incredibly disappointed in that regards, and he feels as if something needs to be done to change that. As for Neville, it was almost to be expected that Neville would resort to some kind of drastic measure, but don't think this changes anything towards him. AJ Styles knows where he's going, and he knows that Neville wants to go to the same place. They both want to go to WrestleMania, but only one of them plans on going there. And AJ Styles has made the plans, booked the tickets, and set the date for WrestleMania. He's going there whether you can try and stop him or not, and he puts out the challenge to Neville. Next week, let him face Zack Sabre Jr. one-on-one, and if he wins, let the ECW manager decide in 2 weeks' time that Neville and Styles, one-on-one, winner challenges Rollins to the title at WrestleMania. You wanted AJ Styles. You got it. You beat Zack Sabre Jr. next week, and the week after, you can have Neville one-on-one, and the #1 contendership to the ECW Championship will be on the line. You have built this house, now it's your job to defend it, but know that whether you are in the house at the end of it or not, or Neville, there will be an invading force, and his name is Seth Rollins. You two can fight it out all you want, but Seth Rollins is going to have that house by the end of WrestleMania. I will leave you two to go to battle if you beat Sabre Jr. next week. Well, after that being put out there by AJ Styles, there's no need for the response because the general manager just said they wanted to put in place. They said, you know, and Neville has been saying for the last few weeks now that he doesn't want to be ignored anymore, and the British Empire is saying that they don't want to be overlooked. It is their time and they'll do anything to get what they want. Well, how about now, guys? You prove it. You go up against AJ Styles next week, Zack Sabre Jr. You can, you know, if you win, alright, I'll put this out there right now. If Styles loses to Sabre Jr., Neville is automatically the #1 contender. There will be no #1 contenders match. But if Styles wins over Sabre Jr., then we get that #1 contenders match next week. And to make it that little bit more interesting, just to make sure that no bullshit, to put it simply, gets Neville to WrestleMania, Zack Sabre Jr. has to go it alone. Neville will be banned from ringside. And subsequently, in that title match, in that #1 contenders match 2 weeks from now, if that happens, of course, Sabre Jr. will be banned from ringside. Just to make the game a little interesting, just to make sure that whoever wins deserves that victory and has made sure to do their very best to get to WrestleMania. They've earned their spot and they haven't cheated to it. So just to reiterate it, Styles and Sabre Jr. next week. No Neville at ringside. If Sabre Jr. wins, Neville is the #1 contender. If Styles wins, 2 weeks from now, Styles and Neville, Sabre Jr. is banned at ringside. Winner is the #1 contender for the ECW Championship at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins will be watching this one closely. I myself will be watching this one closely. Don't make no mistake about it. We will have a very good eye on this one. This is our marquee matchup at WrestleMania, being decided between 3 people technically, but Neville or AJ Styles will be the one getting that shot at the ECW Championship. And think about what that means for Neville to go from being the Cruiserweight Champion, to go from losing the belt to potentially being in ECW's biggest matchup of the year in, what, 2 months? 2 and a bit months? That certainly speaks volumes about how much of an impact Neville has made since making the jump up to the ECW Championship division. There are no weight restrictions for anyone. Neville is still the same weight he was when he was Cruiserweight Champion. Just that Neville is a lot more hungry now to finally get his hands on the ECW belt. It's the only belt on ECW that has escaped him. He is a former ECW television champion, 2-time ECW television champion, former tag team champion, former Cruiserweight champion. All he needs is that ECW championship, and he may well be the first person in the history of this universe to win every belt on a roster. I don't think anyone else has done that. I'm trying to run it through my mind right now. Well, I mean, it depends. Every belt on a roster, yes. I can't think of anyone else. Every belt they can win, no. I think every belt they can win on the roster, I think, goes to Dolph Ziggler. He's a World Tag Team Champion, United States Champion, and World Heavyweight Champion. So that may well be that, but still. There's the accolade out there just waiting for Neville. All he's got to do is go through AJ Styles and Seth Rollins. Yeah, maybe easier said than done. But we'll come to that next week when that big match takes place. As for right now, we have TJP and Jack Gallagher going one-on-one here in this matchup. TJP went for a kind of a sideways moonsault there. Wasn't really a full one for whatever reason. Counter there by Gallagher after the attempted Hurricanrana as well. And here goes Gallagher now. These two men looking to fight for that Cruiserweight Championship opportunity. Zack Sabre Jr. could also be in there, looking to get that opportunity at the title. We saw his win over Trevor earlier. A lot of Cruiserweights in action tonight. We've had the 3 in the opening matchup. Yes, I'm counting Neville. We had the 4 in the tag match, and now we have these 2 Cruiserweights. That is 9 Cruiserweights on this show going at it. Certainly a good night for the Cruiserweights, that's for certain. Jack Gallagher right now look to warm up with that. Look to smash TJP with the head, but he missed it. He got counted perfectly, but he got it that time. TJP protected himself once, but not twice. And that could be his downfall here. The gentleman is looking prepped, primed and ready to finish the job with this one. Drop kick into the back, and now you're going to get a drop kick coming for you from the other ways. Into the turnbuckle. He goes, running drop kick from Gallagher. And the cover that follows it, is it another win for Jack Gallagher here? No! TJP denies him and kicks at it too. Look at how quickly Jack Gallagher gets right back on the swing of things, gets right back into action. Northern Light suplex now, doesn't go for the bridge. Maybe that's why, a little bit of fatigue there. Slow to get back up to his feet. But quick to get back into action. Chinlock applied here. Wrenching on TJP right now, who's struggling to find a way out of it, in all fairness. Finally, though, he seems to have found his opening, and he's elbowing his way out of that hold. TJP now really needs to get something going if he wants to win this one. Nice hold applied here. Well, it could be in some ways maybe a body scissors. I'm not too sure what that would be. Certainly wrenching hard on that arm, though, that's for certain. And Gallagher currently can't find a way out of it either. TJP lets it go there. Gallagher couldn't find an escape. What does TJP have in mind now? He's just pacing around the body of Jack Gallagher. He's going to go to the apron, but Gallagher's getting up to his feet. He took way too long to act on whatever he wanted to do there. Gallagher reverses TJP at a crucial time, maybe. Brings him up to his feet and strikes with the head, but no, he doesn't. Another uppercut by TJP. Saito suplex stuff by Jack Gallagher now, who nails a snap suplex in response. Floats over with a cover. Great speed there by Gallagher. Doesn't get the win with it, though. That was great stuff by Jack Gallagher, though. No matter what you have to make of it, that was great speed to hit those moves and to now be in control of this matchup in turn. Gallagher goes up to the second rope here. Went for a big splash there. Kind of a cannonball splash and didn't get it. TJP, though, was calling him up to his feet here. What will he look for? He'll look for the detonation kick. TJP got him. Detonation kick to Jack Gallagher. This one could end it. Could this be a big win for TJP here from out of the blue? Yes, it will be. TJP, your winner over Jack Gallagher. I really did not expect him to get the win in this one after how he was going throughout that matchup. He seemed defeated on more than one occasion, but TJP, your winner. Can we get a victory dab? Go on, TJP, don't deny us of a good old victory dab. Well, if he does, oh, what a bastard he has. TJP denies us a victory dab there, so we'll all dab for him. Good. Is that meme dead yet? Yes. TJP, however, your winner in a very enticing back-and-forth cruiserweight matchup. Good Good win for TJP, although he may need quite a few more if he wants to get a shot at Austin Aries. There are a lot of hungry cruiserweights in that division, and maybe the hungriest of them all could be a new member of that new team known as the British Empire in Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know. I'm only guessing. I'm kind of starting to get a bit confused by this place, and I'm the general manager of this show. Fuck me. Anyway, we're going to move on to our main event. Baron Corbin has dropped the ball one too many times here on ECW. It is time to pay for his crimes. It is time for him to receive a beating, one of which he deserves after all his failures. Baron Corbin faces Minoru Suzuki. This one is going to be a tough battle for Corbin. This one is going to be a battle that he probably won't be able to get a victory within. But it is a battle he deserves. Corbin, it's almost, I'm trying to serve it not as a punishment in other ways, but in a wake-up call. You are Baron Corbin. You are one of the toughest brawlers on this roster. Hell, in this universe. And you are not delivering on your name. The Four Horsemen let you go because they thought you were better than they could. You were the best that you could be. They couldn't teach you anymore. You were at your peak. You were at your prime, and you were ready to take the world by storm. And what happened? You lost to Seth Rollins twice, and you faded into obscurity. That is Baron Corbin right now. He had King of the Ring, his last roll of the dice, and he rolled a 1, because he got eliminated in the first round by Kenny Omega. Is it by Kenny Omega? Yes, okay. Is it by the King of the Ring winner? Yes. Is it still going out in the first round when you were billed as one of the favorites? Yes. It's just one of those things. It just happens. These things just happen. And Corbin's gotta face the punishment for it. He's gotta be reprimanded for his actions. And that is exactly what we're gonna see take place here. Baron Corbin preps himself ready for this matchup. It ain't going to be an easy one for him, that's for certain. Because here comes his opponent. This man is going to come out alone. Seth Rollins is not here on ECW tonight. He's in it. He's at home, resting and recuperating and just watching his show without him. And don't worry, we got a good person overseeing all the Seth Rollins business, that's for certain. And we got a good person overseeing the punishment of Baron Corbin. Like I said, sometimes business has to be done. And business is being done right now at the hands of Minoru Suzuki. We saw what he did when he made his debut a few weeks ago, destroying Samoa Joe. We haven't seen Samoa Joe since then. And now Suzuki comes out alone for this matchup. This man is so dangerous, and he showed it last week as well. In that tag match with the Four Horsemen, decimating Roddy Strong and Chris Jericho. There is a reason why this man's nickname is the man with the worst personality in the world, because he doesn't care about anyone right now but Seth Rollins. And of course his business is to protect Seth Rollins, and his business is to also put the boots to anyone who gets in his way. And that's not even on a Seth Rollins factor, that's to just anyone. Minoru Suzuki has no problems putting his hands on absolutely anyone and everyone. Whereas Braun Strowman, though, goes from man to man, you know, targeting guys for his own fun. Minoru Suzuki doesn't do that. Minoru Suzuki instead chooses to go after people who can either get in the way of Seth Rollins or trying to get his attention. And Minoru Suzuki is certainly going to have the attention of the Albany crowd here as the big move hits. Let's get to it. Take it away. Thing of beauty every time. And as I said when he made his debut, it's either it can be out of respect, it can be out of honor, but it is mostly out of fear for this man. I am still petrified of this man. Make no mistake about it. We may have the common share of Seth Rollins. You know, me and Seth Rollins get along great, and Minoru Suzuki is his bodyguard. I am still scared shitless of Minoru Suzuki, and I am not afraid to admit it. This one is underway here. We are going with this one, and Minoru Suzuki is already unloading away with kicks and strikes to Baron Corbin. No kick pads, remember, to make those kicks you know, any more protected or anything like that. That is just his boot colliding into him. That is going to hurt big time. There's his boot and his leg just smashing into Baron Corbin's chest. That is going to hurt you a surefire amount. This one, though, is going to get really heated between these two. This one is going to have some strikes coming out. This one's going to have some brawling as well. Make no mistake about it. We're underway here between these two men. They're going to return shots at one another. They're going to fire the hardest shots they can at one another as well. Much like Samoa Joe two or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was. This is all about just hitting each other as hard as they possibly can. Here come the shots now raining in from Minoru Suzuki, and Corbin, rather surprisingly, didn't have a response for it there. Went for the big boot though, but Corbin moved out of the way and is able to bring Suzuki down there with that hard punch. Former Golden Gloves boxer packs one hell of a punch, and Minoru Suzuki just felt it there. But the former Pancrase fighter certainly delivers a punch of his own right, and a few kicks as well, just stomping his boot, his foot into Baron Corbin. Corbin rolls out of the ring, but Minoru Suzuki likes it out here. He appreciates it being out here. Make no mistake about it, Minoru Suzuki, if he could, he'd be out here all day. Oh, and you are about to feel that, Baron Corbin. Snake Eyes into the steel steps. Referee can't call for the bell because he didn't really use the weapon. He just dumped him face first into it. Suzuki is all over Baron Corbin, and he's going to do it again here. Oh, good God. Another Snake Eyes for you. No, Corbin was able to get out of the way there and bring him down with a chop block. Count up to 7 here between these two men. And Suzuki and Corbin colliding here. Oh, Corbin throws him back in the ring. He knows if he's going to take his punishment and fight his way through it, he wants to win this one as well to prove me wrong. And he's going to want, and he wants to win it by pinfall no less as well. Corbin with some hard counters there. Suzuki a little bit dazed. Back suplex now by Corbin. What more can Corbin look for here to get his advantage over Minoru Suzuki? He's going to bring him up to his feet here. Could we see something big from Corbin? If we were, Suzuki completely denied us the chance of seeing it. Oh, Suzuki's got the armbar in, yeah. He has got it stitched in on Baron Corbin in the middle of the ring. Corbin in a guy to submit, but this move, if Suzuki wants to, he can just snap your arm in the blink of an eye. Suzuki, though, is tormenting Corbin with it. He's trying to just wear him down, and then when he wants to, pull the trigger and try and dislocate it, or separate it. Suzuki's still fighting, though, as is Corbin. The strike still coming in from Minoru Suzuki. Corbin, though, with a counter there. And oh, what a hard punch to deck Minoru Suzuki with. These guys really are going back and forth. Tit for tat. Blow for blow, essentially. I can't even call it strikes. These are just hits. These are punches. These are surefire attacks raining in on one another. There's a counter by Minoru Suzuki there. Jawbreaker to Corbin. And he follows up right away there, sending him into the corner and once again digging his face into the ropes. Minoru Suzuki, no respect for the rules. That's one thing you could take into account, and no respect for anyone either. Maybe not even have respect for Seth Rollins. Just a disrespectful slap there to Baron Corbin. Suzuki, though, look for something, maybe some kind of cutter. Corbin able to bring out the counter, and a hard lariat brings Suzuki down. Still trying to bring himself up to his feet, though, but Corbin stopped that one. Wrenches the chin now. Keeps applying that chin lock here on Minoru Suzuki. Suzuki able to try and find an opening maybe to get himself back in this one, because Corbin really has his number here. There's a punch in the ribs, and here it comes now to seal the deal. Oh, Corbin countered the gotch. Corbin powered his way out of the gotch pile driver there of Minoru Suzuki. And did he just create a chance for himself? He may well have done. Baron Corbin over the shoulder powerbomb there. Dumps Suzuki down, but he's struggling here to get up to his feet. Baron Corbin has him up though. Deep six. Strikes it on Suzuki. And we know what follows. Baron Corbin wants to prove everyone wrong. But Suzuki says no and keeps fighting. Went for the clothesline. Missed it. Counted him again though. These two men now going back and forth with one another to the best of their abilities. Uppercut floored Corbin. And Suzuki now with a facebuster. Baron Corbin trying to recover in the corner there, but no such recovery. Recovery isn't really a thing against Minoru Suzuki either. Look at the strength of Suzuki there to hit that shin breaker so easily. And Baron Corbin, he was so close to getting that end of days applied to maybe put away Minoru Suzuki, and now he's trundling away again. Suzuki is the one in control of this matchup once more, and Baron Corbin is paying for it. Corbin though counters and sweeps the leg away from Suzuki. Corbin's ready. He feels the pressure within him. He feels the opportunity arising, but Suzuki denies it. Caught with a hard punch though, and may have been looking there for the end of days. Or maybe looking for a move to prep up for it. Suzuki counted his way out though. And now Suzuki will look to strike. Corbin was close on more than one occasion, but he couldn't apply the finishing blow. This should be it. The Gotch pile driver. The big man of Baron Corbin brought down just like everyone else. Everyone falls to the Gotch. Baron Corbin included. 1, 2, that will do it. Minoru Suzuki punishes Corbin for his actions. Suzuki wins, but Corbin did not put up a fight at the end of it all. He wasn't going down without showing his worth. And I gotta say, Corbin, even though he had to pay for his crimes, he went down swinging. He went down like I'd expect Baron Corbin to. Don't see this as the end of Baron Corbin. I'd rather see this as the rebirth of Baron Corbin. This has woken him up. Suzuki just gave him the beating that he deserved, and now Corbin, you need to act on it, or you don't have a future in ECW. But I believe in you, as I have done for so long. I may be devoted to Seth Rollins, but I believe in Baron Corbin as well. Prove me right, Corbin. Make yourself a name on ECW. Do me proud. Do ECW proud. You got the crowd on your side, you've got me on your side. Don't let us down. Minoru Suzuki, though, your winner once again, the bodyguard of Seth Rollins, and ECW does well. But make sure to tune in next week, because we are heating things up on the road to WrestleMania, that's for certain. AJ Styles and Zack Sabre Jr. next week. If Styles wins, he gets Rollins the week after for the #1 contendership. If Sabre Jr. wins, Neville has hot-pocketed his way to WrestleMania. Will that happen? You're only going to find out next week on ECW. Battle in this episode of Universe. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys, and ta-ra.